Hey, star people, it's Christopher, the Astro Medium. I'm just here to talk about something very important to me, and that is extraterrestrial contact and heart resonance. And this is coming up a lot recently. And the topic of extraterrestrials and aliens or extra dimensionals, whatever you want to call them, is very popular now because more of us are experiencing ET contact. Of course, all of you know it's the total lunar eclipse. It was last night at 12:14 a.m. Eastern Time. And last night I did a cacao ceremony for about 20 people here in Atlanta. And cacao is a heart-opening medicine, so we all set the intentions to open the heart, heal, raise the vibration. I called my star family in. I called all the galactic forces in to our cacao ceremony last night. And about an hour after the cacao ceremony, I was with a couple friends who had also participated in the ceremony. And we were outside watching the moon turn the most beautiful orange red and basically disappear. It was like, wow, I'm literally watching astrology happen. Like, it was just mesmerizing to watch. And what was interesting was that we came outside to look at the moon, and there was a ship in the sky. So the people around me, not all of them had seen something like that, but now they have. But a couple of them have been to my retreats before, and every time I have one of my plant medicine retreats for my clients, there are ships above the cabin. There are, we see them in the sky, sometimes in broad daylight. Well, last night there was one of them, and it was getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And one of the people said, "Is that a plane?" And I said, "It is not a plane. That is a plane." Okay? It wasn't making any noise. And I'm really wanting to spread the word because many of you may be seeing these ships as well. And yes, they are connected to me in some way. I do believe they are part of my star family because I've seen it about 20 times now, especially in the last year, about 10 times just in the last year. And usually during a retreat or when I'm outside meditating, it's always when my heart is more open and my heart is in resonance with my brain. So if you all are familiar with Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind or the CE5 protocol, which is where you get a gathering of people, it's Stephen Greer's protocol, gathering of people to meditate, get into heart resonance, send your coordinates basically up there, and the extraterrestrial beings will come find you and interface with you or fly above, that sort of thing. Well, you could sit in a circle for 30 minutes and meditate, which we did, and we definitely journeyed last night, but we also opened our heart. And so working with cacao and sacred plant medicines are wonderful ways to get started in your extraterrestrial contact. She says, y'all need to be respectful of others' opinions and ideas. He does his best. I don't even know what you're talking about. Should we go back and see? What are we experiencing? What is with this eclipse? Yeah, someone just commented and said, y'all need to be respectful of others' opinions and ideas. He does his best. I'm not really sure what you're referring to. But yeah, I'm over here doing my best. Really, my point with this is to talk to people about the process of this, because many of you are star seeds, many of you are light workers, but many of you are also conscious and aware star seeds who have lineage, who are here for a specific mission, who are, I love your page, keep spreading positivity. Thank you, I appreciate that. Oh, thank you, Joan, I love you. No, I actually live in a forest. This is where I live. That is my home. This is my home right here. And I live in a forest, okay? So this is what I'm doing right now is I'm spending a lot less time on social media. I am going out into the forest. I am communicating with animals. I'm connecting to the earth. I'm working with sacred plant medicine. I'm a manifester in human design. So I'm actually doing what I'm told. And I'm not hiking, I'm at home. I'm in Brookhaven right now, in the forest. But I'm really here so people can understand that right now is about connecting higher, connecting to beings from other places in the star system, connecting to the animals, connecting to the earth in a totally different way, connecting to your body. Many of you are being pulled in a healing direction that is not more out of your body. It's actually putting you back into your body. Because you're healing all of this trauma, you're now going to be able to come back and ground yourself in that physical form and feel safe again. I feel so much safer in my body now than I ever have in my whole life. And I definitely attribute that to my star family and my higher self and the universe, whatever you want to call it. But also things like energy healing and sacred plant medicine and community work. These are all different things that have really helped open my heart and really help ground me back into physical reality as a more integrated, not enlightened, integrated and more soul-infused being than I've ever been. And last night when we did the cacao ceremony and we opened our heart, we did it as a group. I called in the star family. I didn't expect them to come fly over the yoga studio, but just an hour after, 2 ships showed up in the sky, and I want people to know what these look like. You'll hear me talking about all the time. There are all kinds of different ships. Some of them are rectangular, some of them are triangle with lights at different ends. There's so many different variations. The ones that I see are made of light. They are spheres of light. And if you think about it, it's probably light that's circling or oscillating at the speed of light, which creates a sphere, and that's what their craft is. It looks like a star. When you look up in the sky, you see those little faint stars, and then there's those other ones that are a little bit brighter and a little bit bigger. It looks like one of them. It's glowing. It's also right outside of our atmosphere. You can tell that it's not in our atmosphere because sometimes I see them during the day too, and that's easier to tell that they're not in our atmosphere when it's during the day because there's no stars to compare it to. I love it when people are like, oh, that's a satellite, or that's a shooting star. Why is it going really slow in a straight line all the way through the sky? And why sometimes do they get smaller and smaller and smaller until they disappear? Because they're going away from Earth. These are not rockets. These are light ships made of light that are outside of our atmosphere or right in our atmosphere, flying around and interfacing. And I am getting psychically right now that I do have to remember that some people can't see these ships. The kinds that I'm seeing, I don't think are third dimensional. They're not made of metal or alkaloids. There is something higher dimensional about these beings or these ships. And when you see them, they just look like a star that happens to be moving real slow through the sky. Now, sometimes they'll be moving away and they'll completely disappear. Other times, like last night, there was one that went away from Earth, and my friend said, but what if that was a plane, or what if that was this? They were being skeptical, and that's fine. I love that. I don't need them to believe me, but they saw it. They saw it with their own eyes. And right after that, about 15 seconds later, another one appeared, and she said, oh my God, there's another one. And it got really bright. It did something called powering up is what we call it, where it powered up and then completely disappeared into thin air. It was a little bit bigger than the first one we saw, but it was a little bit bigger because I think it was a little bit closer. And it also made itself really bright like this. And it kind of flickers too. They'll flicker sometimes. It gets really bright. She saw it because of how bright it was. We all saw it. And right as we all saw it, it disappeared. It was as if, because what I did when I saw the first one, I sent out from my heart, I said, power up. And I also talked to them and I let them know, I don't want to control you. You're not a parrot. I'm not trying to make you do party tricks. Excuse you. I'm not trying to make the extraterrestrial beings perform for me. We do have to be respectful of them and know that our ego and wanting them to perform, they're not going to be in compliance with that. Let's just put that out of our mind. But what I did ask them for that, and they gave it to me. They made sure that they saw it in a different way. It powered up and disappeared into thin air. I'm not really sure who they are yet. I'm still on my journey, but I'm seeing them so often. There's got to be other people seeing these ships. If you are seeing ships in the sky, especially after you're meditating, you've done a CE5 protocol, you're working with sacred plant medicine, anytime you do cacao, psilocybin, ayahuasca, canna, sassafras, any of these heart-opening or spirit medicines that take you into those altered states, you're more likely to interface and see these ships. Every time I have one of my retreats, there are ships above the sky, and there are people at my retreats who have never seen anything like that. So that's not why we're having the retreats, but it's a wonderful experience that's happening. I want people to know that it is real. You are having a real experience. You are seeing something real. That's not a satellite. We don't have technology necessarily like that to make a ship out of light. We do have a lot of technology that we as a society are unaware of, that the government is using, that they have gotten from extraterrestrials, I'm sure. But this is a totally different thing, and they interface with you. They speak to you. They power up. They interact with you in some way. And what was so cool is it wasn't because it was an eclipse or anything. It was because we opened our hearts. Yes, we used cacao to help and assist with that, which we don't need medicine to do that, but it assists and accelerates the process. It was so incredible how quickly it happened. These beings, your star family, beings from other places, extra-dimensional beings, they are coming more and more because we are ascending and they're able to get to us. My goal is to open the doors and to make people used to this idea so that we can get rid of the fear and the misconceptions and everything Hollywood did to our consciousness, and we can really allow this interfacing to happen with more conscious awareness and an open heart. It's so incredible when you are waking up, you're going through your spiritual journey, you are working with plant medicines, you're doing energy work, you're talking to animals, you're seeing ships in the sky. Life is fucking magical. Okay? You've got to be doing the work, and you've also, part of the work is just resting and shutting the fuck up. So many of you, and I don't mean to be so passionate, but so many of you are looking for so many answers, and the answers are at the pond, they're at the ocean, they're in the forest. The turtle has something to tell you. The hawk is trying to speak to you right now. And all you all can do is keep scrolling and looking for more reasons to get upset about the fact that you've got third eye pressure, your heart is opening, you're having insomnia, your body is changing, your DNA is shifting. You are awakening faster than any other human has ever awakened in all of this Earth's history in this timeline. Yes, animals speak. Yes, Shanoa, my very good friend and Reiki master, Shanoa Barton with Owlways Natural. She's an incredible Reiki. My goodness. She's an incredible Reiki master, and she gave me a book last night when she was at my cacao ceremony it's called Animal Speak. I'm sure many of you know that book. It's time that I read it and really dive into that, because the animals are communicating with me in such a specific way. Now, I love happiness and everything, but this is too much. It's like everywhere I go today, some birds chirping, and you know what? It's because life is trying, my higher self, the universe is trying to get me to shut the fuck up too. Trying to get me to be quiet and listen to what the tree has to say and listen to what the wind is having. I remember when I was a kid and I would watch Pocahontas, I would go outside and I would just walk in whichever the way, the direction of the wind. I would just let the wind take me through the trees, through the neighborhood. Each time I get back to that inner child, that inner wonder, that quiet place, that internal private place where I can just tune in and tune up and just be like a tree. Sometimes I sit there next to a tree and I'm like, my God, I don't need a reason to exist. I can just be here and just sit in it. I don't even feel like I'm watching or observing anything anymore. I feel like I'm being that which is observed. This is the grandmother willow. That's exactly right. This is the type of connection that we're wanting to have. And these extraterrestrial beings, which are coming to speak to us, they're more likely to interface with you the more human and quiet you get, the more primal, the more in touch you are with Mother Earth, and you feel really rooted here. They don't want you to become them. They don't want you to get out of your body. They want you to love being here. They want you to feel so secure in your human beingness, and also take that human beingness with you into those higher dimensions, not escape the human 3D matrix. Take the human out of the 3D matrix into a 5D experience. It's a whole process we're moving into, not away from. And if we can tune back into the simplicity of Earth, there's so much noise, there's so much distraction, there's so much interference going on. It's about getting in alignment. You will do more for the earth now, meditating, getting quiet, tuning in, feeling your body and loving being in your body and loving the simplicity of life, than you would going out and protesting, which I totally support if that's what's calling you. But protesting and causing an uproar and making a difference in the world, you better get right with you right here, because one light bulb on that Christmas tree light strand can make all the other ones go out if it's not screwed in right. And that's about it for today.